For those wondering, yeah, the World Juniors are fun. The World Juniors are exciting. But also, you can make the argument that, for us Canadian fans, I don't know what it is, but do the World Juniors just don't hit as hard this year? I don't know. Maybe it's because Team Canada didn't absolutely destroy in their game yesterday. You can say that there's a little bit of doubt there. But today, I wanted to head into the past and talk about a former World Junior. Yeah, I was about to say star. No, he wasn't a star for that Finland team back in the day. But we are talking about a guy who was a highly touted player in Montreal, in Carolina, and how he almost got traded one more time. Folks, you know him from the title and the thumbnail of this video. Today we are talking about former third overall pick, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, a guy commonly referred to as KK. There have been a number of KKs throughout the course of the past few years in the NHL. Kirill Kaprizov, Capo Caco. You could say those ones are a lot more reasonable. But Kotkaniemi is Kotkaniemi, KK, and he's been one of these guys that I think Montreal Canadiens fans like to keep up with over the years. 25 years old, 6'2", 212, left-handed center, signed on till the end of 2030, making $4.82 million a year. Now, we can get into the entire song and dance as to why Canadiens fans will always have this guy in the back of their subconscious when it comes to keeping up with players around the National Hockey League. And we'll get into that, but we also need to talk about what's new with Kotkaniemi and how it turns out the Carolina Hurricanes, the team that he is on right now, almost traded him. Yeah, that's right. We had a rejected almost trade with Jesperi Kotkaniemi at the forefront. Now, let's get this out of the way here, shall we? Jesperi Kotkaniemi was a third overall pick that probably should not have been a third overall pick. He was taken above names like Brady Tkachuk, Quinn Hughes, because Marc Bergevin and the Montreal Canadiens, for whatever reason, were heavily prioritizing a center in that 2018 draft, despite that draft not being a center-heavy draft. He was taken third. He then made the NHL right after that draft season. He became the youngest player, or excuse me, that's not what it was. He became the youngest player to play in the Big Four sports leagues at the time of his NHL debut, and he was the very first player born in the year 2000 and beyond to play in either the NHL, MLB, NFL, or NBA. That's a really big piece of trivia history for Jesperi Kotkaniemi, but he was number one. And he did have a very good season to open up his NHL career with the Canadiens. 34 points, 79 games played. A lot of folks were saying that, hey, this guy's a two-way center, he's a Finnish guy, top 3 pick, and he went out there and outproduced Alexander Barkov in his first NHL season. This guy's going to be the next Barkov. But as the years went on, Kotkaniemi was never able to take his game to levels that Barkov had achieved and beyond. He had a playoff run, had 4 goals for the Canadiens in that first one, and then 8 points for the Canadiens when they made the Stanley Cup Finals. Things were looking great, but there were already some warts starting to show. The guy left Montreal to play in the Liga, and upon his return, there were some contested feelings. Was this guy going to have what it takes to be a long-term top 6 center? Which is where the Carolina Hurricanes stepped in and offer-sheeted Jesperi Kotkaniemi. He signed a 1-year, $6 million deal with the Hurricanes because the Canes were trying to take revenge for Montreal getting Sebastian Aho to sign an offer sheet with them. Kotkaniemi accepted, Montreal did not accept the match, and then Kotkaniemi became a Hurricane. He had 29 points in 66 games that first season, then he signed a contract extension, 8 years long, $4.82 million a year, and his point production has declined ever since 2023. This year, the guy's got 6 points in 20 games played. Not a great number, all things considered. Yes, he is hurt, but when he is in the lineup, he's a guy getting 10 minutes a night some nights, even in games that go to overtime. So Jesperi Kotkaniemi, by all accounts, is a bottom 6 NHL center making $4.8 million on a Carolina Hurricanes team that unfortunately is not able to bring the best out of him, and now we are hearing from reports that the Canes almost traded Kotkaniemi away. Yeah, that was a really long intro, but I do feel like it's necessary to just give the fans the update on this guy. It appears the Carolina Hurricanes would have liked to acquire Philippe Danault. On December 19th, the Quebec-born center was traded to the Montreal Canadiens by the LA Kings. The California club received a second-round draft pick in the upcoming draft in return for the veteran Danault. According to the fourth-period journalist David Pagnotta, the Hurricanes reportedly made an offer including Jesperi Kotkaniemi to acquire Danault. The Kings were not interested in the 25-year-old Finn and his long contract. The former Canadiens player earns an annual salary of $4.82 million until the end of 2030. KK is having a difficult season, having scored 2 goals and provided 6 assists for 6 points. Is that correct? No, that is not correct. He's got 6 points in 20 games so far in 25-26. Not 2 goals, 6 assists, 6 points. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Sorry, Google Translate. In the Hurricanes' last game against the Panthers on December 23rd, Kotkaniemi played on the 4th line. He logged 12 minutes and 28 seconds of ice time. He has been used by his coach on average less than 11 minutes per game since the start of the current year. Drafted by the Canadiens with a 3rd overall pick in 2018, the 6'3 center joined the Hurricanes in the summer of 2020 by accepting an offer sheet. 2020? No, it was the year after that. What are you talking about? Ay. Yeah, no. Google Translate. In 496 career games, Kotkaniemi has 200 points. So, there you go. Roughly 2 points every 5 games. That's the projection for KK. But it does go to show you that even though a lot of these guys had oodles and oodles of potential and draft stock, draft capital, right around this time, when the guys are in their mid-20s, this is where we start to fully evaluate them as more so what they are rather than what they should be or could be. Kotkaniemi is a bottom 6 center. And the LA Kings were more interested in grabbing a second-round pick than this guy in some sort of a package for Philippe Danault. Oh, you would think Danault out, you need to get a center in. Well, the Kings didn't do that. They got a draft pick. That draft pick, with no extra value on the team right now, was more valuable than Kotkaniemi, who is a 4th-line bum at this point with only 6 points in 20 games. What a fall from grace Kotkaniemi has gone through, and when you consider what he was supposed to be, how people were comparing this guy to Barkov, it gets all the more embarrassing when you just think about how Canadiens fans viewed this guy back in the day. And yes, that is a very hindsight-filled take. It's because we know what he is right now that it's hard to accept what we thought he was supposed to be back then. But it does go to show that sometimes these stories just don't go the way we expected. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about how Jesperi Kotkaniemi was almost traded to the LA Kings only for LA to straight up reject it. What are your thoughts on the way KK's career has gone up to this point, and how does that vary from what we thought he was going to be? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.